Okay, guys, it's 10 o'clock, so in the interest of staying on time, I'm your host today for our webinar. I think it's going to be a very informal webinar. So it sounds like everybody is willing to participate in talking this morning. Hopefully everybody has tried the Purify products from Synergy Worldwide and, you know, have a little bit of knowledge of really what the microbiome is. I'm going to give you the poor man's version. I'm sure that if you want anything more in-depth into the science and whatnot, definitely could send Dan an email or, you know, read the ebooks. Or I just find it super fascinating, everything that I'm learning about our bodies, the microbiome, and how what it does to keep your whole body healthy. So I'm just going to do a brief introduction, and then I really want to get into the testimonials of everyone that's on the call, and I would love to give my own testimonial as well. As all of you probably know, I don't know if we have any guests on the call. I'm getting used to the Zoom platform, so I'm not really sure where to find all that information. But I just wanted to, you know, let everybody know that this formula, the components of the Purify was actually launched in Europe, and we were hearing all of the great responses and all of the results from Europe, and then the Purify kits were available to the Synergy distributors in the United States, which I don't know if anybody else was surprised. I'm not on top of things as much as I should be, but when I opened my Purify kit and everything was in a European box, like for arginine looked different, everything looked different. I was a little bit shocked, but I'm assuming that pretty soon, I'm hoping with the open house that we'll be launching and being able to buy all these products. So it's so interesting and exciting to see what Synergy has for us coming next. So that's basically what we're going to be talking about today, is getting the Purify kits and really what was our experience with that. A real brief, like I said, I'll give you the poor man's version of what the microbiome is. I've been diving very deep into really what the microbiome is. As many of you know, I've struggled with heart disease. Although arginine took me, I will say always that arginine saved my life. It took me to a place where I can get away with a very low dose of blood pressure medicine, and now I really, my goal is for this year to, after reading everything I've read about the microbiome and what it can do for our bodies, my goal is to be completely off any kind of medication. That's the only medication that I'm on. Besides that, I'm very healthy, and what I'm finding out about the microbiome, I feel like it's the answer to all of my health concerns, because for the longest time I was going to all these specialists about my heart, and they kept saying, well, you inherited high blood pressure. And you know, Dan and Judy and Bob, you've heard me say this so many times. If I inherited high blood pressure, it's like saying I inherited a headache. It's a symptom of another problem. So what is the problem that I have that is causing my blood pressure to go up? And no doctors could ever answer that for me. And when I started reading the Microbiome Solution and the Microbiome Diet, and right now I'm reading the Brain Maker, it just makes so much sense to me that there's some kind of mechanism in my body that is turned on by something I'm ingesting, or something that I did inherit, some type of a gene or microbiome that is not allowing my body to operate at its full potential. So that's basically, the way I see the microbiome, that we're just this massive, these little microbes, if you will, and how intelligent they are, and how they affect our thinking, and how they affect our brain. One of the things so interesting to me is when they said, when you have a gut feeling, there's a reason why they call it a gut feeling, because the microbiome has this intelligence, and it's telling your brain something that maybe you can't see or doesn't make sense to you, but it's something that your body knows, if that makes sense to you guys. So I got a little bit ahead of myself here, and again, this is one of the more fascinating parts of what we're going to be talking about today. It's just how just doing something as simple as doing a long cleanse to reset your gut can make such a difference for your entire body, not just better digestion or not just more energy, you know, as Bonnie said, she feels like she's on cocaine. We'll get into that a little bit later. But, you know, so much of these side effects, if you will, of taking this product for a week it can make such a huge difference in people's lives. And through these testimonials, we're hoping that we can get, you know, walk away with more information about how these products can help improve people's lives so that we can speak a little bit more intelligently, especially if someone has a similar problem to something that you hear today. So, like I said, when I got my Purify Kit, I was a little bit, I thought, what kind of prurigine is this? But I felt like the program was very simple. I felt like it was, you know, just simple steps all day. Somebody said something. Oh, I think it was Judy. You said that, you know, drinking that much water is going to make me crazy, and it's like I drink water all day anyway, so I can put just about anything in my water, and I'm fine with it. That was not a problem for me. I thought the shake tasted very good. Of course, I take prurigine all the time anyway, and then just to swallow a few more pills wasn't. You know, the thing is, I didn't follow it like to the hour, but I got everything in my body during the day that I needed to get into my body. So I didn't have any real side effects. Like I said, my side effect was not super immediate. I mean, I felt like I had more energy, but I do take a couple of scoops of prurigine a day, so energy is never really a big deal for me. But I'll tell you something that Bob said that really made me think was, since getting off of the, or since being done with the Purify Kit, I have a real desire to eat cleaner. And again, that all goes, you know, what I've learned anyway, is that it goes back to what your gut is telling your head. It's like, I feel like when I go and I find something to eat now for any meal, I start looking for vegetables, which, I mean, that was never me. And Judy is my witness. We've spent lots of times on the road and spending days together. She knows what I'm like if I can't have like a Reuben sandwich or something. I get a little crabby. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing that I'm walking away from is the residual effects of having cleaned out my gut for a week. And again, I think it's a simple thing to do. I think probably what I'll do is I will continue to do the Purify every 6 months, and, you know, of course stay on the prurigine, which I'll never get off of. But also I've added more probiotics to my diet and prebiotics to my shake that I take in the morning. And I think this is really a huge breakthrough, you guys. I think we know with Prurigine Plus that we have one of the most significant health breakthroughs of our generation, and I think this is just, I feel so good about this new product launch, and I'll be completely honest with you, Synergy has released things before that I was like, meh, I'm not that crazy about it, but this I am super excited for. So if you guys really follow a loose script, if somebody wants to step up, and I know, Bob, you have to get off the webinar a little early today, so if you wouldn't mind going first and just kind of give us a little overview of, you know, from start to finish, how are you feeling?
Well, sure. Thank you, Jean. Yeah, I got to go help a friend move here in just a few minutes, so thanks for letting me take a shot at this right out of the gate. I was so excited to get started on this. I really was like a kid in a candy store, if you will. And but prior to beginning the Purify Kit, you know, Bonnie and I had been eating really clean for like a month or two, really. Prior to this, a lot of we cut sugar out almost completely. Most all carbs were cut out. And we were having fun with that. So when we started this, it was really exciting to us. And Dan had those wonderful spreadsheets. Dan, thank you so much for that. We printed those off and had them on the refrigerator so we could keep track from day to day, everything we did. And we did it together. She and I are a team. Bonnie and I have been teamed up for 43 years, It's like there's not a Bob without a Bonnie kind of a thing, And so we did it as a team, and we had a lot of fun. My very first taste of the shake, I wasn't sure what to think. I was so used to the Slim Smart, and I tasted the DT the first time, and I thought, well, that's interesting. But I found what I did with the shake. I mixed the shake and the DT in a packet of the Pro-Arginine together, and I liked that a great deal. In fact, I look forward to that every day. We had wonderful results from this, Jean. I lost a few pounds. I didn't really need to lose a bunch of weight, but I lost a few pounds, probably 5 or 6 pounds in the week. And our energy levels were high. I didn't have any of the residual problems that others have spoken about. I never had a headache, no upset stomach or anything like that. My two biggest concerns when I did this, first of all, I was afraid that maybe I'd end up starving to death, which I never did. I got a little bit hungry a few times, but not really, nothing serious. I was a little concerned that I'd be tied to the bathroom, and that was not the case either. So I didn't have any of the problems that I thought I would have going forward. Somebody needs to mute their phone, I think, though. Anyway, so Bonnie and I both have a
we can hear kids in the background.
What's that?
I said we can hear kids in the background, so if you could mute yourself, that'd be great.
Well, we love kids,
Yeah, we love kids, but I want to hear Bob.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, but I had a really good experience. My energy level was good. Bonnie and I are out walking every day, doing a little bit of light weight work. In fact, and I've joked about this a little bit, but on one of our walks, Bonnie said that it was telling me that she felt better than she'd ever felt in her life, which was a pretty significant statement to make. Then she's going, Bob, they're putting something in this. I think they're putting cocaine in this stuff, which is extremely funny if you know Bonnie, because she would no more know what cocaine was than the man on the moon. But it was funny and it was fun, and we had a great experience overall. Since then, I've sent a kit to my son Gabe down in California. He's under enormous stress right now. He's opened up several new restaurants for this group that he works with. My friends in Arizona called 1 and 2 kits. I sent them off to Arizona. And so, I've had a chance to share this with a lot of people. Dan, the microbiome ebook is wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I've had a chance to send that on to a number of people as well. My take on this overall, I felt clean, really clean, inside and out. It's carried over my desire to eat clean, to be mindful of what I'm putting in my body has never been higher. I came back from Montana on Tuesday. I stopped at the Costco in Missoula, Montana. We don't have one close by where I live here in North Idaho. Stopped and bought a bunch of vegetables, fruit, just the things that I want to eat every day. I stopped and picked those up on my way home. The fridge is full of fresh fruits and vegetables every day now, and I look forward to that. It's been a game changer for me. I mentioned this to a friend the other night. I finished my salad. This was after I got home from my trip. I had a nice salad for my dinner. I had a little bit of smoked steelhead. I don't know if you guys know what a steelhead fish is, but they're this giant big trout, and I caught some. Anyway, I had a little of that on my salad. It was really good. But afterwards, I was like kind of hungry for something sweet, and you all know what that's like. And in our freezer, we had a couple pieces of chocolate cake that a young girl from our church had made for me for a gift because I'd done something for her. And we just stuck it in the freezer. Neither one of us wanted to eat it, but it was in the freezer, so I got it out and I ate a piece of this chocolate cake. And I'm not kidding you guys. It wasn't 10 minutes later, I started having a headache, and that headache was one of the worst headaches I've had in years. I couldn't shake the darn thing off, and I had an event I had to go to. I cleaned up and got dressed and went to this event. I could hardly keep my eyes open. My head hurt so bad. And I know it was from that sugar in that little piece of chocolate cake. There was another piece left over, and I threw it in the garbage. It's just that sense of cleanliness from within. and then introducing something that's not good. It was pretty powerful for me, Jean. So anyway, all in all, I'm like, I love this stuff. And we're going to do it again. I've got a couple of extra kits so that we can do this again. We're just trying to decide now when we're going to do it. You mentioned every 6 months or so. I've even thought about doing it again before we go down to the Synergy event. But anyway, that's my story. Any other questions?
Oh, I just find that interesting. You know, I've never really thought about doing it more than twice a year, but I guess you could do it as often as you'd like. You would do it once a month if you wanted to, I suppose. Because, you know why? Because it's just a week. You know, and that's what is so amazing about the changes that you can make in just a week.
Yeah.
You know, the books that I've read have said that, you know, with diet you can, you know, change your microbiome, but, you know, got all these supplements you got to go and get, and then you have to follow a strict diet. I mean, if you can really just reset and do, you know, just follow the simple directions on this for a week, and then have the results. I mean, obviously you had the same thing that I have, where it's like I'm looking for nutrient-dense food now that I know is good for me, quite by accident. It's not something I'm consciously doing. It just that is more appealing to me. Is that how you feel as well?
Yeah, it is. And I think, you know, we had Shane Greer on our call on Monday morning, and he did indicate that in time, eventually, each of these ingredients will be available for us to purchase individually, but they aren't right now. And so if you want to continue with a probiotic after you're done with this Purify Kit, you have to go find one. I buy a Probiotic 11 from Nature's Sunshine. I don't know how many of you guys. Yeah, that's the one I buy because I want to continue with a good probiotic. And, you know, who better to get a probiotic from than Nature's Sunshine? The sad thing is that it's not available yet. None of these products are available individually yet. Now, I get that kind of, sort of. But, you know, I'm kind of also at the same time going, come on now, you guys. We should be able to buy. These are good products. We should be able to purchase them. I would think the company would want us to be able to purchase them individually. But in any event, that's what I do going forward. And it's not, it's expensive to do this very often. I mean, you're looking, by the time you pay for tax and shipping and stuff, you're looking at $200 for this kit. And, you know, of course you can buy 4 and get 1 free, but the point is that it's not cheap. And so, you know, you got to be able to factor this into your budget. Everybody's got some kind of a budget that they have to work on. And so I think we need to be wise how we do this. The maintenance kit will be interesting to see what that's like to Fortify after we, you know, that'll get launched here shortly. And but in the meantime, yeah, I'm very, very thankful, Jean, that I was able to do this. I'm grateful to the company for making this possible. I don't know how you guys did. March was probably the biggest month I've had in years in terms of my volume between the microbiome kits, purchasing some of those, but also just, man, my customers were just coming out of the woodwork. So Monday was a great month for me. March was. Anyway, so I'm going to use all this energy I've got and go help this poor lady and her little boy get moved. So I got to blast out of here.
All right. Thank you so much for coming, Bob. We really appreciate your input.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So I know that there's a few other people on the call that have tried the microbiome. Is there anybody else who wants to jump in and give us the lowdown?
Yeah, Jean, this is Homer. I'll go.
Hi, Homer.
Yeah, actually, Diana and I, we've done it twice.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time we did it as Rudy Pedroza calls it, the Korean style with no food. We did the you know, the 2 shakes in the morning, and like Bob, we mixed the Biome Shake and the Pro-Arginine and the DT. We mixed it all together, and the first couple of times it took a little bit getting used to, but by day 3 or 4, I really looked forward to I mean, I was waiting for it, you know. I was never hungry. I mean, the main thing is without having any food is that you psychologically, we missed that chewing. We chewed on ice. We put a little bit of ice to thicken the shakes, and that made it a little bit better. for the third, when you were supposed to have your meal, the third time we used the Slim Smart as a supplement for the third meal.
Okay.
That worked out pretty good. And in the first round, I call them rounds. First round, I lost little over 14 pounds, and
Wow.
and my blood sugars. I've been taking diabetic medications for years, and my blood sugars are still were not where they needed to be. My blood sugars were in the normal range, and since then they stayed in the normal range.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's great.
It is great.
Yeah, and the weight, I wanted to lose the weight, but the weight really wasn't the exciting part. It was my blood sugars coming down, and I had, not like Bonnie, I had a euphoric feeling. I mean, I never felt that good as long as I could remember in my adult life. I mean, I could not, on day 4, I sat there on my bed, and I was reflecting on how I was feeling, and tears came to my eyes because I could not ever remember feeling that good. I'm like, is this what, I could die right now and I'd be a happy man,
Wow.
It was just awesome. And so we made it through, we made it through the first round, and then we waited 21 days. We ate clean the whole time, and we started the second round. And because we have several people who were doing it with the snacks and the foods, and so we kind of thought that we wanted to, see how it was with food. With the food on the second round, I was more hungry, or I was not hungry, but I was wanting to eat more than without the food on the first round.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's kind of crazy. And as good as I felt the first time, I felt even better the second round. I mean, I've been happy. I've been going for it. I've been out there. I mean, like Bob, our CV is just like, we've never had that before. I mean, people just want to this product. It's crazy. It's because everywhere you go, we tell people, like in Diana's face, you can tell she's lost weight, and people are asking, well, what are you doing? And well, we're doing this plan, blah blah blah. And then well, I want that, so the beautician got one, and then she told her doctor. I mean, it's great. It's just going on and on and on, and it's wonderful. And I find now, since we've had the microbiome, I don't even have time to talk about pro-arginine. So, and then
isn't that refreshing? I mean, as much as I love, and we all love our pro-arginine, it's like
right.
It's something that we're really excited about. That's why I say I believe that this is another nutritional breakthrough, another health breakthrough that we're so blessed to be able to be at the forefront of this. That's just the way that I see it.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Homer. I want to get to a couple of other people who have to say goodbye for the day, but that's wonderful results. And my goodness, I didn't get the euphoric thing though, but I never did it without eating at all. So maybe I got to try that.
Jean, this is Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
How you doing?
Good.
I want to share my experience. I shared with Dan when we were doing it a couple of months ago. I started on the 11th, but like Homer, with the recommendation of doing the body prime 3 days prior to doing the kit, just my starting weight, and I'll just put it out there because I'm so proud of what this kit has done for me. I don't have a problem telling you that I was 187, and the first 3 days doing the body prime 3 times a day, I lost 11 pounds in the first 3 days before I started the kit.
Wow. Wow.
And then, as I'm doing the kit, I'm just seeing my weight just, 2-3 pounds. And I really never posted on the Facebook page what I was really losing because I wanted them to be pounds gone and kept gone.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So I didn't want it to go up and down and up and down. But at the end of the 7 days, my weight was 168. And so I lost like 19 pounds in those basically first 10 days. And my favorite in this whole system is the Body Prime because of the magnesium and what that magnesium does for our muscles. My skin is looking amazing. My muscle tone is going off the chart. I just want to walk and just be active. And I sit at a desk all day long. So my breaks, I'm like doing laps around our building.
Wow.
And because I have to get out there, I have to move. And they just know that I'm going to get up and go walking.
That's so great.
It is amazing. But after I was done with those first 7 days, I have another kit to start, and I haven't started it because I kept losing weight.
Wow.
And I had gone down to 158. So that means
oh my gosh.
like 2 months. Well, no, in a month. It was a month because I did it on March 11th, and then it was the 11th of April that I did the other weight. And so it was like down 24 pounds in that 1 month.
It's amazing.
And I also, while I was doing that first 7 days, like I think it was day 5, I had a caregivers conference that it was an all day long event. They had pastries, they had fruit, they had luncheon and a dinner, a VIP dinner at the end. And like Bob was saying, the pastries, I cut a little piece of pastry, put it in my mouth, and couldn't even eat it because it tasted horrendous.
That's amazing.
It's like I'm like thinking, and this was, I know that this lady pays for the best chefs for these pastries, but it was nasty. It was, I could not eat it. And it got thrown in the trash, and that's what I am. I love this product. I just love it.
Well, you're making me love it even more. I'm like so amazed by that. I'm not a big sweet eater, but for somebody that, especially when you're anticipating something being really, delicious and you go to put it in your mouth and it's just making you physically ill, that's actually remarkable.
So I am just so in love with this product.
Yeah, that's what a great testimonial. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so I know Judy, you've got some things to share, and if anybody else is out there, we still have a few minutes. I'm just loving hearing all this. I'm hoping that Dan is recording. He told me that he would be recording, so I'm hoping that is happening right now because these are great testimonials, you guys.
Hello there, Timothy.
They are great. Hi, Timothy.
I started my 3-day time yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But my question is, what do you do after? What kind of food? Do you go back up on fruits easy, or you stick with the vegetables and lean protein?
Well, I can, I can give you the poor man's response to that, and that would be my opinion. For from what I've heard from other people and in my own experience, I feel you, because I started thinking the same thing. I felt so good while I was on the product. It's like, well, what am I going to do once I get off of it? And it was a very organic thing that happened, where I just started making choices that were good for my microbiome. Maybe Dan could speak to the science a little bit about that, but to me, it's kind of something that just happens because of the cleanliness of your body, I guess, is the only way I can think of it.
Okay, I got that. If you're going to get clean, keep clean.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like for some people, especially Tracy, that they have no choice but to eat clean. It just doesn't taste, the bad stuff doesn't taste good anymore. And with Bob,
it doesn't.
But I understand that, because when I got off the meat, I tasted meat after and I got sick. So I understand how she felt by eating this pastry.
Interesting.
And I think if you go with the more alkaline veggies, the more green leafy veggies, you're going to be so much better with that. And it's so much more satisfying.
The deeper color greens, for sure. I've actually, in the microbiome diet, this doctor is talking about how never eat iceberg lettuce. And it's not because it just has no nutrients. It's because it's so toxic, because the water level is so high in it, and that our environment is so toxic, and the water then carries that all through the lettuce, which I found that very interesting. I knew that iceberg lettuce wasn't good for you, but I didn't know it was actually bad for you. So I find that very interesting. But yeah, the deeper, darker the color, I think. I know, Judy, you talked to me a lot about this, the quality of the nutrients and how nutrient dense your vegetables are.
Well, and not only that, Jean, with organic versus non-organic, and how the non-organic vegetables are now not as nutritionally dense as the organic ones, because they're grown so fast, they don't have time to get that nutrition in there. So another reason to eat organic.
Yeah, I'm finding that out too.
But, I also had some great experiences with the microbiome, and I think one of the things we have to remember is everyone has a different experience. So congratulations, Tracy, for that amazing weight loss. Wow, that's so great to hear. And we have to remember that it doesn't happen for everybody. Just like with ProArginine, everyone's experience is different. Mm-hmm. And I did not get the detox because I believe it's because I've been eating, pretty much clean for a long time. But I was amazed how I was able to drink the water, because I am not a water drinker, and how full I stayed. I missed snacks more often than not, just because I got busy and I forgot about them. And that was extremely surprising to me that happened. And
just like a lot of the other people said, I think it's the after effects of the system, how it can stay with us, and we start making better choices. So, not having those late night binge eating, and when looking for snacks, going for the healthier one rather than the quick, easy, sugar laden snack. And I'm so happy with the microbiome kit, and am so looking forward to the Fortify. And I would love to be in the test, one of the test subjects for the Fortify kits that is going to be happening soon, that they will be announcing, very shortly at the Elite kickoff. So I'm happy I got on it. I'm looking forward to the changes in our business, and how, with the the microbiome is such a good combination with the proarginine that we can still talk about hearts and guts and overall health as a package and not have to be really separate in our business, but talk about the two in conjunction with each other. I think that was so smart a synergy to include the proarginine with the microbiome kit. So that's basically my experience. Feeling good and craving good food, starting to make kale chips for dinner 2 or 3 times a week, just because it's like, I got to get some more greens, and I love like kale chips. So that's been my experience.
Kale's not a big favorite of mine, but the kale chips, I think you made me the kale chips one time. They're delicious.
Yes.
Share that recipe.
Put it up on the Gut Health Facebook page.
Yeah, it's so easy. It's so fun. One of my granddaughter's favorite foods is kale chips.
That's awesome.
Hey, Jean, this is Homer again. I just had one thing just to add real quick. The proarginine that comes in the kit, I was not a fan of. I mean, it was just, they say it's citrus berry, but it tastes nothing like citrus berry to me. So we used our own proarginine and used it.
Yeah, I use my own proarginine too, but my husband uses citrus berry, so he didn't say anything different. He was, what? What's wrong with the box? I'm like, just relax, honey. It's the same thing.
It totally tastes
right.
weird. Totally weird. I just couldn't get past the taste. It's just like, ugh. And I made one one with with the kit and one of ours, and ours is I think was a little more sweeter, I guess. I don't know. But it was just, it was just weird.
Well, that's definitely
from what I understand, the future kits that we are going to have will be mixed berry. They will not be citrus berry.
Well, the citrus berry was because I don't think in Europe they can have the mixed berry. Am I correct in saying that? Or am I making that up?
I believe so. No, I think you're right. I think you're right.
I love it when you say that, Judy. I think you're right. It's like one of my kids say, "Hey, Mom, I think you're right." So, do we have anybody else who wants to share? Dan, I know that you were you kind of modified the Purify Kit for yourself. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Sure. If I may, before Dan, I'd just like to talk a little bit about my experience.
Sure.
The thing is that the whole process kind of was an eye-opener from the beginning, but I didn't start to use my stuff until this week, this Monday, and what I found that I was filled. I didn't get through my entire regimen. I was full. The shit was very filling and all that. So I kind of went through. It didn't make me hungry at all. So I kind of skipped eating until just dinner. I just forced myself to eat on Monday night actually. The taste was fairly pleasant. What I find in the proarginine, it has the taste of E9. If anyone ever used E9, so it has that kind of taste. On my health issues, I don't have any except my cardio, which I kind of protect, and my L-arginine looks after that. But one of the things that I also found, it gave me an eye-opener of, and you talk about the difference. I didn't realize I was having constipation, so to speak, because I would go to the bathroom daily before, but not much. But then with this, I find that I was, going a couple of times during the day, especially within the last couple of days. So those are my experiences.
Oh, I'm so happy that you shared that, and we'll be interested to find out once you get through the entire program how how you're feeling. See
Sure.
if you get any of the residual effects that so many of us, so many of the rest of us have seen. Dan, I know that you're a super clean eater just from spending time with you, and I'm wondering if you saw a big difference.
Thanks, Jean. As you know, I went gluten-free and wheat-free about 2 years ago, but I still had some abdominal issues, and I was interested in resetting my gut health and seeing whether that would help me with those digestive disorders that occasionally happen to me. And so far, what I've experienced from the Microbiome Purify Kit and the maintenance program that I've been doing since I've finished up the kit is I haven't had any of those types of abdominal issues at all.
Wow.
And what I saw was I wasn't looking to lose weight. I was simply looking to do another step in resetting my microbiome, my gut health. And in my morning shake, I kept my formulation the same, except I replaced the Slim Smart Health Shake with the Biome Shake. I used 2 scoops of Slim Smart, so I used 2 scoops of the Biome Shake. And the first time I took it, it was an interesting taste. I wasn't quite sure. I couldn't quite put my finger on what I was experiencing. But the second day, I really liked that shake. I liked the way I felt, and it just felt like I had a much cleaner energy burn. I had absolutely no bloating with that shake, with the Biome Shake, whereas occasionally I would get some with the Slim Smart. And this is the most significant thing that occurred to me. 1, my energy levels were much better. My focus was much better. And on the Slim Smart Health Shake, I would usually get hungry around 11:30, 12 o'clock. On the Microbiome Shake, I would go until 1:30, sometimes 2 o'clock before I even became hungry. That's how significant it was for me in terms of having great energy, great focus, and not being hungry at all. The other thing that I noticed is that before going on this program, typically in the afternoon when I would get hungry, I would usually look to some type of chip as a snack to get me from lunchtime into dinner time. And now that I've been on the microbiome program, I have no desire for any kind of chip, no type of corn chip, no potato chip. Those bags can sit in front of me because I have family members here that still eat those kinds of things, and I have absolutely no desire to even eat them, let alone look at them. And I've actually gone to some things that when I need to bridge from 2 to 4 or 2 to 5 when we normally eat dinner, I found some things like I use sunflower butter in my morning shake. And so I'll use sunflower butter in an afternoon snack. And again, it holds my appetite till dinner time. Now, as far as what I plan to do from a maintenance program is exactly what I'm doing now. I have no plans to go back to the Slim Smart Shake. I will use the Biome, and if Synergy doesn't give us that as an individual standalone product, until then, I've gone to Nature Sunshine and I've gotten their Inform pea protein, because that pea protein that they're using in the Biome Shake is just a huge difference in terms of bioavailability. If you do any kind of research, especially if you just go into the microbiome ebook, I've got a section in the ebook on pea protein, and it is as comparable to whey protein, which is what typically is used in most health shakes, but the L-arginine content of the pea protein is 3 times higher than what you will find in whey protein. You're getting, for the 25 grams, the 2 scoops that you're getting in the Biome Shake, you're getting 1.6 grams of additional L-arginine into your diet. So from a cardiovascular standpoint, that makes a huge difference. And then I'm continuing to use the Bacillus coagulans, the probiotic, and then again, Nature Sunshine has that in their list of products, plus they combine that with the inulin, which is the prebiotic. So I'm continuing with that. And as Tracy shared, when I looked at the Body Prime initially, I saw that just strictly as a cleanser. I no longer look at the Body Prime as a cleanser. I look at the Body Prime as a necessary ingredient every day because of the magnesium that's in it. So I now use Body Prime. I take it 1 in the morning with my breakfast, and I take 1 at dinner time with my dinner, and I continue to use the probiotics 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, Body Prime, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and I continue to do the pea protein shake every morning as my foundational meal, as my breakfast. And as far as this reset goes, I'll most likely look to do a reset program every 6 months, although I really do like the ingredients that are in that Biome DT. What I did, as what you've heard with others, I put the Biome DT into my shake. I now, because I've used that up and don't have access to it, I now have the essential greens back in my shake. So every day I do the essential greens, but I can see doing that Biome DT like maybe every 4 months or every 6 months just as part of a reset program. Hope that helps other.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's wonderful, Dan. I got a quick question. So you said that you're taking the, which of the Nature Sunshine that has the inulin, what did you say the name of that was?
That's if you go onto their Nature Sunshine and you type in Bacillus coagulans in their search bar, it'll come up. They'll have 3 products. Just get the one that says Bacillus coagulans, because if you look at the ingredient list, in the other ingredients, it includes the inulin.
That almost sounds like a fictional character, Bacillus coagulans.
Well, again, he is cloaked in a spore, which allows him to get through the stomach acidic nature, and that, all those nasty spies try to get him, and, yes.
You really have to do a video for us, Dan, where all of these impossible science terms are broken down just into superheroes.
Sure.
And the Body Prime, now you can't get that from Synergy. Does Nature Sunshine have something similar to the Body Prime? You said you take that every day.
I haven't seen that. I haven't actually looked for it. I bought 5 kits. I sold 3 of them to other people. I used 1 personally. Sherry used 1. So we have, because there's 90 capsules in the Body Prime, I still have I'm started on the second bottle, and I have about 2/3 of it. So I'm okay on the Body Prime, and it should get me to the convention May 12th and 13th so that I can restock with Body Prime. I haven't looked on Nature Sunshine.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay, well, thanks, Dan. I think that was really great information. Of course, we always love hearing the different ways that you modify things and the scientific approach to so much. I can sit here and tell everybody that, I feel better, and and Tracy can say, I lost an amazing amount of weight in a very short amount of time. But at the end of the day, knowing why and how we should take these supplements is really, really important, and we appreciate everything that you do for us, Dan.
Jean?
Go ahead.
On that, I think when I was resetting my gut health, it was just allowing the toxins that was just stuck in there to release. And that's what the Biome DT is all about, because it has the chlorophyll in it, and it has more chlorophyll than our regular chlorophyll. It has more power for the punch, so to say. Mm-hmm. And I think with all of this, it is just so designed to release the toxins in your body. And our fat cells and our cellulite pockets that, I had, that I was carrying around, they were able to release and let go and get out of my body. And it was just amazing. When I would sleep, and I was sleeping better than I had been sleeping for weeks and months. And I felt like when I did lay down and rest, I just felt my body just like it was all wrapped up, cozy and ready to just like let go of, you know, whatever was ready to be released. So I was really excited to get on the scales in the morning just to see, you know, what I let go of again. And it just, you know, when you're letting go of the toxins, then your mind can start clearing up. And it's just amazing. This is just amazing science.
It really, I get really excited about it. Anybody who stands still long enough, I started reading the Microbiome Solution, and by the time I finished it, I had sent it to every one of my kids. They think that I'm going crazy. And like, this is important information. This is really important information for everybody. And the fact that Synergy has given us this opportunity to really a simple program to follow and
Jean, we lost your audio.
Gosh, nobody heard. I was saying so much stuff. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody for coming. I was saying to Tracy, I said it's so nice that Synergy has given us something that can jumpstart us, if you will, into a healthier lifestyle that actually is lasting. To me, it's something I don't have to think about that much anymore. It is, you know, I go to the grocery store and I'm in the produce aisle, and as Judy said, I'm shopping organic because I really understand now how important that is. You know, I always would look for organic, but it wasn't imperative. Now it's pretty imperative to me. So I just want to thank everybody so much for sharing their stories this morning. It means so much to us to have these great varying of what people can expect on this, especially when we're talking to potential customers, and also, you know, sharing the knowledge of really what the science is behind what we're doing. I want to do a quick invitation for everybody. Please don't miss our Global Health Makeover Monday morning call. The number and the access code is on the screen. And also, I will say one of the best kept secrets in our organization is Judy's 21-day challenge call on Tuesday mornings. It's always so enlightening. It's always so thought-provoking, and it really keeps you connected to the people who, you know, like the people on this webinar. These are like-minded people that, you know, we've been talking to for I don't know how long, Dan, 5 years, on our Saturday morning webinars. So it's an important thing to do to stay connected if you want to. These are the phone numbers. And you know what? I did put the access code. Did I put the access code for Tuesday morning? I don't see it underneath my toolbar. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming and for sharing your testimonials with us this morning, and we will see you on a call next week or next Saturday for sure. Dan, what is our next Saturday's webinar?
Bob will be going over the Global Health Makeover website.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, so that's an important one for everybody to get their new people too. So if you have some new people that maybe aren't familiar with a lot of the Global Health Makeover stuff, or just confused about what Global Health Makeover is compared to, you know, within Synergy, that would be a great webinar to invite people to. So good luck, everybody. I hope you can save a lot more people's lives with the information that we have and that we share here at Synergy. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks, Jean.